What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. It is Tuesday evening. You know what that means. We are live on the channel for the next hour. We got some awesome content on deck for you guys. 3 segments. Speaking of 3, that's where we're going in our first one. These 3 Ravens are absolutely balling. I'm going to tell you who's been having a really good couple of practices during OTAs. And then after that, we're going to look at 5 make or break players. 5 X-Factor players for the Baltimore Ravens in 2025. And then last, of course, everybody's favorite segment, yours, mine, producer Jax. Your questions, my answers are live Ravens Mailbag. Use those hashtag Ravens in the comments section down below. Get your questions in, and they will be on today's show just in segment 3, a little bit later. Speaking of segment 3, speaking of threes, doing lots of things in threes today. I'm giving you 3 options. Who has more touchdowns in 2025? Is it Rashad Bateman? Is it Zay Flowers? Or is it DeAndre Hopkins? Okay, I asked yards in the poll, and Rashad Bateman's the leader right now with 50%. Who do you think out of those 3 guys finds the end zone the most? Is it Bateman? Is it Flowers? Or is it Hopkins? Bateman led the receivers in touchdowns last season. I believe he had 7. Zay Flowers had around 4. DeAndre Hopkins, I honestly think he had 7 as well. Let's see. What did he do last year? He had 5 touchdowns last year. 1 for the Titans, 4 for the Chiefs. You let me know your answer in the comment section down below. Jameer says, hashtag Ravens now a free agent and the injury to Darius Washington. Should the Ravens sign Jerry Alexander to help the secondary? Great question, Jameer. I would for the right price, but who knows what that price is going to be. Mike, great question. Ask that again, but use hashtag Ravens, not hashtag Raven. But already getting some great questions in the chat already. Mike says, should I watch Broncos today or Ravens Rundown? Stick with us here at the Ravens Rundown. Papa says, what up, Joey, Jack, and chat? Papa, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Mog says, I couldn't skip the ad fast enough. LFG, be more Bird Gang, baby. What's going on, Moggs? Good to see you, my friend. Kyler, hashtag Ravens, would it be smart for the Ravens to sign someone in the secondary, like Simmons, Alexander, or Samuel? It would be smart, my friend. I think they need it, especially if Bo Braid is going to be hurt as well. I don't know if you guys saw the video from this morning. He actually left practice yesterday with an injury. Nothing new on him today. Papa Shook, hashtag Ravens. How many picks will A-Rod throw to the Ravens this season? I think at least 2. I think at least 1 a game. Maybe 2 in one game, 0 in the other, but count on 2. Papa Shook says RB leads the team in touchdowns. Jameer says ZF. Tony says RB. Lav says RB. Kyler says RB for touchdowns, yards, ZF. Bate had 9 last year. Thank you, Papa. Mine had a misspell. Let me ask again. Hashtag Ravens, will the Ravens sweep the Steelers? I think so. I do. Joey, how is the Texas Heat? Deshaun, great question. Ask it again and use hashtag Ravens. This is how you guys get on the show, okay? We're going to do a mailbag in our 3rd segment. If you guys use hashtag Ravens like you're seeing a ton of people do in the comment section, you'll be able to get on the show. I'll be able to answer your question, and you'll see your name, your face, all of that on YouTube. We usually release our mailbag episodes on Saturdays. Mog says Zay going to compete to be him of the new wide receiver core. Bet that. Do you think Ben Cleveland has the left guard spot? I wouldn't mind Ben Cleveland over Andrew Voorhees. That's what I was just saying. I wouldn't mind Cleveland over Voorhees at all. I kind of am. I'm not the biggest Andrew Voorhees fan. What will our record be, says the great question. I'm going to go with 12-5. That's my guess. But I'll go into depth a little bit more on that in segment 3. Yeah, I think Zay gets more yards, but Bate gets more red zone looks. Yeah, that's not bad. Joey Petersen, good news. You're now number 2 on my list of Chat Sports hosts. Thank you so much, Mike. Lav says, hot take, Bate is a 1,000-yard receiver this year. I don't disagree at all. Papa Shook says, or 619K Factor, Ravens flock, Super Bowl 60 champions. I hope so. AEW top guy says, sup, Joey and company. What is going on? So we already talked receivers. Let's stick with the pass catchers. Let's talk tight ends. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Which of those 2 guys gets extended? Is it Andrews or is it Likely? Let me know in the comment section down below by typing their initials. MA for Mark Andrews, IL for Isaiah Likely. I kind of have a feeling it's going to be Isaiah. Just because he's younger. I think he's going to be maybe, I don't know about cheaper, but he's just younger. He's got higher ceiling. Mark's getting a little bit older. Great re-ask of that question to Sean Jones. Kyler, think the Ravens will re-sign Andrews or Likely? I feel like they'll just pick one. I think they'll re-sign Likely. What will our offensive line look like? Great question, Chris. Wow. Jack, they're rolling in. Good stuff, ladies and yeah. Aiden, with a crowded edge room, who do you think will make the cut? Aiden, great question. Ask it again. Use hashtag Ravens, my friend. Use hashtag Ravens. Papa says Isaiah Likely. Jameer says Isaiah Likely. AEW Top Guy says Isaiah Likely. Everybody's saying Isaiah Likely. Chris wants to know what the offensive line will look like. I think it goes Stanley on the left. Actually, I'll do it this way so it's mirrored for you guys. It goes Stanley, Cleveland, Linderbaum, Falele, Rosengarten. That's what I think. With Bo Bray and Chobe Awuzie getting hurt, should we go get Jair Alexander? Asked Papa Shook. I wouldn't mind it for the right price, my friend. Okay. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Y'all are incredibly active in the chat. Very thankful for that. If you guys want a healthy team in 2025, don't jinx it. Like the video. It's free to do. Let's cover all of our bases. I'm a very superstitious guy. I used to make my dad, he used to be my soccer coach growing up, and I used to make him like wear the same outfit every single game because I was like, if you don't, we're going to lose. So, and I still kind of have a little bit of those same tendencies. So make sure to not jinx it. Like the video. It's free to do. Bo Braid already got a little bit beat up. The Ardarius Washington injury happened. I'm sick of injuries already, so to make sure that they stay healthy throughout the entirety of the season and that they go into 2025 healthy, like today's video. Aiden, great job getting those hashtag Ravens in. Subscribe while you're already at it, guys. If you already haven't, says Papa Shook. Amen, Papa. We cover the Ravens every day. We give you 7 videos a week, live shows every Tuesday, video a day. Free, 100%. Don't know what I could say that better persuades you guys to hit that subscribe button. It's free to do. You lock us in. It's a two-way conversation here at the Ravens Rundown. We love you. You love us. This is a family, and I want you guys to be a part of it. Andrew, hashtag Ravens. Wow, dude. This is crazy. That's awesome. How many touches for D-Hops? Touches? Great question. I mean, I guess you're basically asking how many catches he has because he's not going to get touches like running the football. I think 60. You got to just think of like there's so many other players that are going to touch the football. So that's hard. Maybe 55. That's what I'll say. Okay, Jack, are you ready to roll into segment 1? Welp, great question. We are 1 like away. We're 5 likes away from 30 likes. That's what I want to get. That would break the record for the highest number of likes we've had before starting our first segment. So we just need 5 more likes and we'll get into our first segment. Again, if you guys do not know what these segments are going to be, we're going to be live for about 50 more minutes. 3 Ravens players that are absolutely balling at OTAs, OTA news, OTA highlights, everything that you miss, I got for you right here. Kimberly says, hey, Joey, what's up? I know I can count on Kimberly to like the video. Welp says, do you think TJ Tampa is going to get more snaps than Chidobe Awuzie in the second half of the year? Second half, yes. First half, no. But I like how you clarified in that question. I do think so in the second half. What are your thoughts on JAD starting at safety? So he won't start. I don't think they'll trust him enough to start this early. But maybe by the end of the year he does. I don't see it happening, though. Hi, Kimberly. Like the video. Let's get it to 50. And we're at 30. Good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all keep hitting that thumbs up button. We are going to keep it going, keep it rolling. And with that, we are going to start today's show. Jack, we ready to roll? All righty, let's do it. Coming to you in 3, 2, and 1. The Baltimore Ravens are in the midst of OTAs, and we're finally getting to watch some football. And if you've been tuning in, paying attention, there have been 3 players that have really caught my eye, that have really caught the media's eyes over the last couple of weeks. And we're going to talk about them today on the show. 3 guys who are absolutely balling out. Little bit of a reminder, if you did not know, the Ravens are in the tail end of their final OTA session today. And then after the 13th, they're done with OTAs. They get a couple days off, and they go back to mandatory minicamp next Tuesday. That's right, next Tuesday. And then they'll get a little bit of a break and come back for training camp. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not trying to get drunk off of the Kool-Aid from OTAs. Like, I'm trying my hardest. But at the same time, it's really, really hard. Like, you see all those players that you talked about during the draft, the rookies, they're out there, the second-year guys, you're seeing them take those steps. Everybody's in the best shape of their life, and it's so easy to get ahead of yourself and just think, you know what, this is going to be the best team of football. I'm trying to stay level-headed, but I'm telling you this to admit it's a little bit hard to do. Something that's not hard to do, hit that subscribe button, okay? We are in the middle of a race to 35,000 subscribers with Mavericks today. We're only 150 subs behind them. I need you guys to help me out. Hit that subscribe button to help us climb the rankings here at Chat Sports, okay? This is a very competitive office. We all want to be the best. You want the Ravens rundown to be the best it can be. New viewers, I'm looking at you guys. Y'all hit that sub button because, hey, it's free as well. Let's start with the OTA standouts. How about the first round selection? That is one Mr. Malaki Starks. And I want to highlight Malaki to start and talk about him because this all started when Sarah Ellison tweeted out kind of at the beginning of OTAs. I think people were pretty nervous in the beginning and saying, you know what, Malaki isn't necessarily doing everything and that we kind of hoped he would. He's not necessarily flashing, right? And John Harbaugh said they hadn't flashed yet. But he was still learning the defense. And he also hadn't made a mistake yet. Then Harbaugh went on to say, with our Darius Washington situation, it's a lot on his plate right now. So it's going to have to step up. But that's why we drafted him in the first round. So it took a little bit from him. It took a couple of days to kind of finally get those feet wet. But once he did, after the first about week and a half of OTAs, it seems like Malaki Starks is kind of finally rounding a corner and really starting to get his feet under him. Here's a little bit more from Ryan Mink. Rookie safety Malaki Starks closed quickly when it looked like Rush had an easy touchdown throw to fullback Patrick Ricard during a red zone drill. Starks made Rush hesitate, and he ended up throwing an incompletion in the back of the end zone. And that's something I like a lot about Malaki Starks. It's something I loved about him coming out of Georgia. He's got so many different tools in his bag. He's aggressive, he's fast, he has great ball skills, and I think my favorite thing about him is his intelligence. And Eric DaCosta has already spoke on it ad nauseum, saying the way that he could discuss football, his awareness, his ability to call out the plays from their defense before we even show the plays just based on formation, his ability to dissect and talk about what happened in any given play and to know what his teammates were doing on any given play. I mean, it was like he was a coach. And let's be real, he's going to need to show that this year, okay? Kyle Hamilton, he's going to do Kyle Hamilton things. He is almost a perfect football player. And Malaki Starks is going to be thrown into a really big role, like John Harbaugh said. Our Darius Washington went down. He's going to be down for probably the first 13, 14, maybe the entirety of the regular season. A lot was thrown onto his plate. But I have a really, really strong feeling he's going to be able to handle it. Because I'm really happy seeing that he's already getting up to speed. And it did take him a little while. He spoke to the media on Monday. Jamison Hensley talked about it. And he said the field is completely different than college. Like when they would say my job was at the numbers, I was going to the college numbers, right? A lot's going on in his head. It's a lot of changes, a lot different. We're not surprised it took a couple of weeks of OTAs, but now that he's been through that, he's learned a lot. Seems like he's really turning a corner. Let's talk about our second OTA standout. That is tight end Isaiah Likely. And speaking of Malaki Starks, speaking on Monday, Malaki Starks actually said that Isaiah Likely has been the toughest guy to cover in practice so far. That's comparing him to Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Andrews, he thinks likely is the hardest guy to cover. So he's faster than he looks on TV as well. That's fantastic news. That's wonderful. And what's going to be really interesting this year is that it's such a big year for likely because both him and Mark Andrews are in contract years. Both of those guys will be viewed under a microscope. Both of those guys, whether you like it or not, they're going to be compared to each other all season long, even more than they already have been. Good thing is, Isaiah Likely, he's making some plays in OTAs. Ryan Mink went on to say, tied in, and Isaiah Likely made 2 long receptions down the sideline from quarterback Cooper Rush. I've got the feeling that Isaiah Likely has the ability to be one of the best. And not just one of the best on this team, but one of the best in the National Football League because he does so many things so well. If you look at this chart, it's tight end performance, run blocking, and or verse receiving production. So basically, how good are you at both? And the further to the top right you are, that means the better and more well-rounded of a tight end that you are. And look who's closest to the top right on this entire list. So far away from really anybody else. That's right, Isaiah Likely. He can block with the best of them. He can receive with the best of them. Like, this dude has so many tools in his tool belt. And right now, I know it says tight end 2 on that depth chart, but in reality, I think we all know that this is just tight end 1A and tight end 1B. And I think by the end of the year, it might be Likely tight end 1A and Andrews tight end 1B. It's just going to be all up to him, but the good thing is his signs are showing he's playing in some of his best football right now. Who gets extended out of these 2 cats right here? Is it Isaiah Likely or is it Mark Andrews? You let me know which of those 2 you would extend in the comment section down below. Coming up on the show, one more player we're going to discuss who's been absolutely balling. You're going to be really excited to hear it. And no, it's not Lamar Jackson, even though, speaking of him, you can get his jersey right now, chatsports.com/Lamar jersey for only $80. They've got the purple with the gold numbers. They've got the black with the white numbers, 20% off. And I've been saying this all week long. This is one of those June deals. Once we get out of June, once we get into training camp, then into preseason, then into the football season, you're not going to be able to find a Lamar Jackson jersey for just $80, okay? So I don't care if you need it now or don't. This is the time to get it. Chatsports.com/Lamar jersey. That link's going to be in the comments and in the description of today's video. Head there right now. Take advantage of this offer. Support us here at the Ravens Rundown. Support our friends over at Fanatics. Of course, support your Baltimore Ravens. Let's talk about our third OTA standout, a guy who we've actually given a good bit of talking about already is DeAndre Hopkins. And last week, Todd Monken talked to the media after practice and talked a little bit about DeAndre Hopkins. And, we're trying to get him up to speed, but so far, he has been great. And he's been great, ladies and gentlemen. Todd Monken wasn't lying. Jonas Schaefer went on to describe some of the plays he's made, saying Hopkins caught all 3 of Lamar's targets in 11-on-11 work, settling into an intermediate zone before making a diving catch on throw, separating from Wiggins and making a full extension grab to the right sideline on an out-breaking route, finally beating Humphrey on the out route along the sideline. I think Hopkins is already surprising people. I got so frustrated with people's thoughts on the DeAndre Hopkins signing. And sure, a lot of it is just people on Twitter who haven't watched a down of Ravens football or really haven't watched a down of football that isn't the Dallas Cowboys or the Kansas City Chiefs in the last 5 years. And they think that they know ball, right? But getting DeAndre Hopkins on a 1-year, $5 million deal is wonderful value, and it's already paying off, I'd say, so far through OTAs. Jeff Zrebiak went on to tweet about Todd Monken, saying that he doesn't see Hopkins as a number 3 wide receiver. That's coming from the offensive coordinator. Sees him more as the Ravens having 3 starting wide receivers, and Hopkins, Bateman, and Zay Flowers. And I truly think, while there might not be one guy who is like a cut above the rest in terms of being a wide receiver You know, like there's no Jamar Chase, there's no Justin Jefferson on this roster, but you have 3 guys who would be starters, I feel like, on every single team in the National Football League. That's a little bit rare. These 3 guys are really good, and this position group is really deep. If I had to ask you who gets more receiving yards in 2025 of these 3 guys, you let me know in the comment section down below. Is it Flowers? Is it Bateman? Is it Hopkins? Let me know your answer. We're going to end with a little bit of an honorable mention. How about undrafted free agent Chandler Martin, who's been playing very, very well? Ryan Mink went on to say that undrafted inside linebacker Chandler Martin nearly came up with a pick for the second time during OTAs thus far. Now, he said nearly came up with a pick, meaning he didn't intercept the ball, but still he's making plays, and this is a position group. We talked about it right after the draft. This thing is wide open, the inside linebacker room. You lost a lot of people in the offseason. The Giants, to the Steelers. There's room to be made on this roster for an inside linebacker that makes plays. And if Chandler Martin's making plays, they don't care if you were taken in the second round or if you are an undrafted free agent. They're going to put the best players on the team. Make sure you guys are following on social media. Joey Petersen 8 is where you'll find me on both Instagram and on X. Make sure you're following me for daily updates on your Baltimore Ravens. And make sure you're following here by hitting that subscribe button. We do daily long-form videos, 10 to 15 minutes every single day, every single week, every month, all year long. You get the gist. Make sure you lock us in by subscribing. Who gets extended? Is it Andrews or is it Likely? Boom. And we got a $5 super chat from C. King. My guy. Been a little while since we've seen you, but glad you are here. C. King really made his himself known during the playoff game during Buffalo. That was, I think, the first time he joined us in a watch party, and it was great. Good to see you, my friend. Bought myself a Lamar jersey the day after he was drafted, says Papa Shook. I love that. Rome says, what about Devontae Walker? He's going to have a better year, especially than he had last year, but I don't expect him being top 3 in this team in receiving yards. That would surprise me a lot. I don't even really expect him to be top 5. Like, I expect those 3 receivers and then these 2 tight ends to have more receiving yards than Devontae Walker. $5 super chat from C. King, King of the Seas, says D-Hop has been torching our DBs his entire career. Makes sense. It ain't changed now that he sees us every day. LOL. Yeah, man, he's been playing really, really well so far in OTAs. It's been really, really fun to be keeping up with it on social media, seeing the highlights, seeing the moves he's making. Really excited that that's going to be the guy that's on our team this go-around, torching other teams' defensive backs, if you get what I'm saying. Make sure you guys like today's video. If you guys want to be like C. King, make sure if you hit that $ next to the chat box, send in a super chat. If you send in a super chat with a question, it guarantees your spot on today's show. So if you guys want to be like C. King, want to make sure you get a spot. It's a busy, busy show today so far with questions. And so if you guys want to guarantee it, super chatting is the only way to do so. Doesn't have to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It can be a $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 super chat, whatever you got. Rome says, oh, no, sorry. I meant what about Walker as a standout so far in OTAs, not receiving yards. Oh, yeah, no, you're not wrong. Yeah, he's been a really good player. He stood out a ton. If I would have put the list to like 5, he probably would have made the list. But keeping it to just 3, I think those guys were good enough. If you want to get on the show, use hashtag Ravens to get on it. We've got a ton of questions, but of course, we'll take all the questions that we can get. We got 60 people watching. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button. It's free to do. Helps us out. Gets the stream out to more Ravens fans. Okay, so hit that thumbs up button. Like today's video and help us get to as many members of the flock as we can. We're at 41 likes right now. I'm about to go into my next cut. My goal is to be at 50 by the time I get out. And I need you guys to help me out and hit that thumbs up button Just need 9 more people to do so. Jack, we ready to go into cut number 2, my friend? Alrighty, let's do it. This one's 5 biggest swing players, 5 biggest X factors. The Ravens. Coming up right now. Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen. We got an awesome show on tap for you guys today. I'm going to give you 5 players that are the biggest swing players in 2025. The biggest make or break players in 2025. The biggest X factors for your Baltimore Ravens this next season. And if you're excited about this next season, if you can't wait for it to get here, just like me, let me know who you are. Cast your vote by liking today's video. If you're ready and if you want football here tomorrow, do me one big favor, hit that thumbs up button. All right, let's get into it. We're going to go over 5 players that I think have the ability to be game changers during the season if it swings that way. And we're going to start off talking about the first round selection. That is one Mr. Malaki Starks. He was the 27th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. And let's be honest. Let's be real about something. He's being thrown into a really, really big role. The good thing about him is I think almost above everything when it comes to scouting him, he has a wonderful head on his shoulders. And because of that, I'm really, really confident that he can handle it. But let's be real. Like, if Ardarius Washington never tore that Achilles, Starks would have come in, and he kind of would have been able to wade into it. Sure, it would have been a lot of information. Sure, he still would have gotten a lot of snaps. Sure, he still would have played a ton of football. But Ardarius Washington goes down. Starks, boom. You're an every down starter almost. Just exactly what he's been at Georgia, right? If you look at the last 3 seasons, 43 games played in 3 years of college football. 77 tackles this last year. 6 interceptions among 3 seasons. He knows what it's like to play meaningful football. He's played his best at the most meaningful times for the University of Georgia. They've been the best program in college football over the last 5-6 seasons. He's been a really big part of that. Sure, he's taking on a lot. He's got to learn a lot. He's going to continue to do that over the next couple of months, enter training camp, into the preseason. But I'm confident by the time we get in to the season, he's going to be doing great. Speaking of those ball skills, I need you guys to predict it for me. 2.5 interceptions for Starks in 2025. What say you? Over or under? If you think got more than that, give me an over. If you think it's less, give me an under. X factor number 2. These are in no particular order as well. Let's talk about Rashad Bateman. Okay, and I've talked a ton about Rashad Bateman over the last couple of seasons, and that's okay, Jack. Just throw me full screen. No worries. Rashad Bateman is going to have a really, really big role in 2025. And not because, I'm expected of him to get 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns, which I think that would be great. I would absolutely love that. But Rashad Bateman is one of those guys that if you take him away, it just gets a little bit easier to cover everybody else on this roster, to cover all the other really good weapons. If Rashad Bateman's going off, that's another guy that teams have to focus on that takes their attention away from Zay Flowers, from DeAndre Hopkins, from Derrick Henry, from Lamar Jackson running the football, from Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely. Let's just be real here. Rashad Bateman's going to be a massive X factor this season because he's so important to what the other wide receivers do around him. Okay? Another guy worth mentioning. Let's talk about Ronnie Stanley. Namely, Ronnie Stanley's health. Okay? Let's be real. He hasn't had the most rock-solid, injury-free career. 1 game played in 2021, 11 in 2022, then up to 13 in 2023. He played the entire season in 2024, which was absolutely massive. But in 2 seasons, from 2020 to 2021, he only played in 7 games. And did you know that Ronnie Stanley allowed 2 sacks in 500 175 pass blocking snaps. He's really, really, really important to this team, and really important when you talk about keeping your star player, keeping your number one priority upright and healthy. Ronnie Stanley's health is really, really massive because I don't necessarily trust the depth behind him yet. Like one day, I believe that depth is going to get there. Emory Jones, Noteboom, Carson Vincent, but I just don't necessarily trust it right now. Like, I kind of would be really, really nervous. God forbid, knock on wood, if Ronnie Stanley went down at some point in the season. Let's talk about X Factor number 3. Nate Wiggins, cornerback. Nate is going to be a really, really key cog in the defensive wheel over the course of this season. He's taking a massive, massive, massive step up in 2025. I mean, if you look back at last season, he had a great year, right? But 680 snaps compared to other guys like Brandon Stevens, Marlon Humphrey at 903 snaps. That snap count is going to take a really, really big jump up. He's going to have a lot more responsibility. That's why he's one of the X factors. That's why he's one of the swing players. If he can step up to what people are expecting him to step up to, it's going to be great. But if he can't, we might have some serious problems. The good thing is he's preparing himself, though, for that up snap count, for playing more games, playing for more minutes. Weighed in at 173 pounds at the combine a year ago. Today, up to 185, thanks to a hearty offseason diet that was filled with a lot of steak and a lot of mashed potatoes. Wiggins is prepared to take that step. He's preparing himself to take that step. He's adding the weight. He's got a whole nother year under his belt. I am thrilled to watch Nate Wiggins be the CB1 on this roster in 2025. Let's hear it. Do you believe in Nate Wiggins? Like I do. If you do, show me down below by liking today's video and hit that thumbs up button. I can't express enough how important the offensive line is this season and pretty much every season in this sport, because the other X factor is Roger Rosengarten. And let's be real, Roger Rosengarten was really, really, really good in 2024, even just as a rookie. I mean, look what he was able to do against TJ Watt. Watt, in the 2 times he faced him, had 45 pass rush snaps from week 16 in the wild card. 7 pressures only, not a single sack, not a single quarterback hit, and a pass rush grade averaged out at about a, 58? I'll take that. And then you go to Myles Garrett, who he blocked in week 18, and then asked for a jersey swap. 56 total snaps for Garrett. He had a season-low overall grade, a season-low pass rush grade, only 2 tackles, not a single hit, not a single sack, and 4 quarterback pressures. And this is why guys like Ronnie Stanley and guys like Roger Rosengarten are so important, because they're facing guys like TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, maybe, we don't know yet. They're facing those guys twice a year, 2 times. He was really, really good at the end of that rookie year. But if he doesn't take that step forward and he kind of flattens out, we already talked about the depth of that offensive tackle position. I don't love it. He's a really big player in 2025. Let's round this one out on the defensive side of the ball. Nnamdi Madubuike and Kyler Richards just said in the comment section, I think Madubuike will be the last one, and he nailed it because he really is. We got to be honest, he took a step back from 2023 to 2024. And part of that reason was he was double-teamed a lot, right? Well, guess what, Nnamdi? If you're a good player in the National Football League, you get double-teamed a lot. Think about TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, the best of the best. Those guys get double-teamed almost every single down. Same goes for Nnamdi Madubuike. He's got to find a way through it. We cannot just entirely lose the pass production from the interior of this defensive line. And I'm not saying he needs to give me 13 sacks like he did in 2023, but I need more than just the 6.5 from last season. I have to have more, especially with the lack of depth behind him. I'm really excited about Anais Peebles. He's got a long way to go still. He's got an explosive first step. He needs to work on that technique a little bit more. Outside of Peebles, John Jenkins, I think, is going to be a solid backup. But, other than that, I'm not very confident in anybody else. We need Mailbag to take a step back up. Let me know. Does he do it in 2025? Give me a yes or give me a no in the comment section down below if you believe Mailbag steps back up this next season. Make sure you guys are following on social media. You got me on Twitter. You got me on Instagram. And make sure you got me right here on the Ravens Rundown by hitting that big red sub button. Daily videos on your favorite team in purple and black. It's the best channel to be right here on YouTube. If you love the Baltimore Ravens, if you love free things, join us right now. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for being a wizard on that one, Jack. Y'all can't see it, but producer Jack was sticky with the keys. We figured it out. Papa Shook says Juan Hendrickson are currently sitting out. I know. How awesome would that be if they continue to do that? Kyler says one of the most underrated players on this team. Brandon says, I believe the depth that we have. So excited about the Baltimore Ravens season. Joshua says, yeah, and Ravens were learning a new system and the secondary was struggling. Brandon says he got to get some help. I totally agree. After the preseason with a 53-man roster cut down start, Ravens can go to other teams' practice squad and add on the defensive line and add at any other position. Yeah, I agree. That's not a bad take. Over or under 2.5 interceptions for Starks in 2025. Y'all let me know. Also, we're 1 like away from getting to 50 likes. Yeah, I did so too. Did people unlike? Oh, we just got there. There we go. Sweet. Shout out to you guys. Up next is our Ravens Rundown live mailbag. Make sure to get your questions in. Use hashtag Ravens. We already have a ton. We're not going to beg for any more. We're just going to tell you, if you want to have a chance on the show, use hashtag Ravens. And if you want to not leave it up to chance, if you want to guarantee it that you get on it, go ahead and send in those super chats. $1, $2, $3, $4, whatever it is. Make sure you get those in if you want to guarantee your spot on the show. Papa Shook says over for Starks. He might come down 3 or 4 picks. Never know. Think about how many Marlon had last year. Yeah, Marlon had a wonderful year. Time to make some secondary moves. Injuries got me worried. Best in the North. I couldn't agree more. Kimberly Harmon says over. Hashtag Ravens says, Jacko, what's the chance we get Alexander? Need him. Don't disagree, my friend. Do not disagree. All righty, that is coming up very, very soon. We'll let Jack get ready. How is Zach Orr doing? Says Seahawks and Tua fan. Great question. I think he's doing really well. I expect his second-year jump up, kind of similar to what you'd expect from a player, right? Just because he's a coach doesn't excuse him from being able to, improve from one year to the next. I was against it, but go get Jair for depth purposes, says Papa Shook. Would love it, man. I think he'd look really, really good in that purple, black, and gold. All righty. We've got our Ravens Rundown mailbag. Continue to get those questions in. Super chat if you want to guarantee it. And that's coming at you right now. The best time of the week, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday. That means you are watching our Ravens Rundown live mailbag. Every single one of these questions came from us or for us on Tuesday. We go live every single Tuesday, and it's an absolute blast. So make sure, never miss a moment, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because you guys get your chance to get on the show yourself. First question coming up from Deshaun Jones. Nice little profile picture playing football there. Says, do you think Ben Cleveland wins the left guard spot? Hashtag Ravens. I hope so. Honestly, I'm just not sold on Andrew Voorhees. I think that's been a guy that they've really wanted to take a massive step up. They've really wanted to be able to rely on, and so far they really haven't been able to. He had the starting role last year, got hurt pretty quickly, then didn't see the starting rotation for the rest of the season after week 4 because Patrick Ricard came in, won the job. Right now, They said it on Wednesday, Tuesday after practice. This race is between Ben Cleveland and Andrew Voorhees. It's between those two guys. I think Ben Cleveland might go ahead and win it. So we'll see what happens. Again, not in love with Andrew Voorhees, but he could win it as well. But I would put my money on Cleveland. Make sure you guys have those notifications on. Like I told you earlier, we like to call it the Noti Gang, okay? It's very exclusive, but it's everybody who's got those bells on. 11.9% of our subscribers are in that Noti Gang. My goal, get that up to 12%. Okay, if you do not have those notifications on, this is a reason to do it. Get in our Noti Gang, and every time we drop a video, you're the first one to know. Next up, coming from do you think the pass rush will be better? Yes, I do. I hope the pass rush is more consistent. They were really good at getting sacks. They just struggled to get consistent pressure. And when you add Mike Green, when Odafe Owe is adding like 20 pounds over the offseason, hopefully Nnamdi Madubuike can take a step back up. You had a really good pass rushing defensive tackle in the draft in Anais Peebles. I think it's going to step up. It has to step up because if you looked at last year, who won the Super Bowl? That's right, Philadelphia Eagles. Why did they win the Super Bowl? Well, they were able to pressure Patrick Mahomes all night long without sending a blitz once. They had an elite defensive line. That won them that game. That's what Baltimore needs to win a Super Bowl in 2025. Next up for Chris Byron, you think the Ravens are going to get another inside linebacker? Great question. At the current recording of this video, they do not have one. Another one, a new one. I wouldn't mind Jermaine Pratt. I talked about it on Tuesday morning. He just got released by the Bengals on Monday. I wouldn't mind C.J. Mosley. I know he's old, but he suffered a little bit of an injury last year, which isn't a great sign, but I think he'd be cheap. I wouldn't mind another one just as a depth piece. Excited to see who wins the battle between Trenton Simpson and Teddy Buchanan. I'd probably lean Simpson, not because I think he's better, but just because I think he's got more experience. Kimberly Harmon up next. #Ravens, do you think Isaiah Likely gets more touchdowns than Mark Andrews? Ooh. Hard to say. Because Mark Andrews is just a red zone merchant, touchdown merchant. Like, he is the man when it comes to catching red zone touchdowns. He had so many touchdowns last year. So many of them were in the red zone. I'm going to say no, but I do think Isaiah Likely has more yards and more catches than Mark Andrews does. But I just think Mark Andrews still solidifies himself as a red zone threat. Seahawks and Tua fan. Interesting. Seahawks fan, Tua Tagovailoa fan in the Ravens rundown. This guy just likes the NFL. How is Zach Orr doing, you ask? He is doing well, I think. Everything coming out of camp, I think is, he's taking that next step. Just what you would expect from a player from year 1 to year 2. I think the same thing goes for a coordinator from year 1 to year 2. He's doing great. The guys love him. They rally around him. I think he's really, learning a lot from Chuck Pagano. I think he's going to add a ton to this staff, especially when it comes to the secondary. So I think he's doing pretty well. Excited to see him in 2025. Next up, Renz365. What is up? Should the Ravens trade for Martin Emerson? Interesting name. One we actually haven't talked about yet. Browns cornerback Martin Emerson, for those who don't know. No, I just don't think he's good enough to trade for. It's like, if he was a free agent, maybe, but there's just better free agent cornerbacks than Martin Emerson. There's like 4 free agent cornerbacks I can name off the top of my head right now. Asante Samuel Jr., Jair Alexander, Kendall Fuller, Stephon Gilmore, Rasul Douglas. There's 5. 5 free agents I would want more than Martin Emerson. Make the call. Let me know. Should the Ravens trade for Martin Emerson? Give me a yes, give me a no in the comment section down below. Weigh in with your answer. Up next, we got Andrew Hempy. How many touches for D-Hop? Well, you say touches. He's not going to touch the football outside of catching a pass. They're not going to run the ball with him. So this is pretty much how many catches does he get? Anywhere from 50 to 60, 45 to 60, I'd say. And that sounds like a low number, like if it's in the 45 range. And that's not necessarily a knock on Hopkins, more of there are so many weapons on this offense. There's just so many times you can touch a ball, right? You got to get the ball to Flowers. You got to get the ball to Bateman. You got to get the ball to both of the tight ends. You got Justice Hill as a pass-catching option. You have Derrick Henry. You have Lamar Jackson as a running option. You have Keaton Mitchell. Like, there's so many good players on this offense. So I just don't see a world where he gets more than 60. That's my opinion. Next up, Jameer Castro, now a free agent, and the injury to Ardarius Washington. Should the Ravens sign Jair Alexander to help the secondary? Yeah, they should, based on the price. If it's a cheap-ish price, I would do it probably in a heartbeat. I'm all about like adding as many options as you can on the secondary. And I think it could end up being cheap-ish. I think Jair Alexander thinks he's going to get paid a little bit more than he actually is, if I'm being honest. He's betting on himself. But, like, think about Asante Samuel Jr. He's younger. He's really good as well. He's been a free agent for 3 months now. Nobody's touching him because I think they're worried about the injury history. Same thing goes with Jair Alexander, and he's even older. And so I think they could get him for cheapish if he's still in the market in like a month and a half. We'll see, though. Mike Nintendo Master, #Ravens. Will the Ravens trade for an edge rusher? I don't think they will at this point. Like, the only one worth trading for is Trey Hendrickson, and Baltimore's not going to trade Trey Hendrickson to you. And so I don't think so. I think they're really happy with what they got. They've got a really crowded edge rusher room right now. And so, like, I don't think they'd trade for a guy to bring him into a room that's already really, really crowded and honestly pretty good. Speaking of guys that are pretty good, let's talk about Lamar Jackson. You can get his jersey right now for $20 off. $80 only, 20%. It's a phenomenal deal. Brought to you by our friends over at Fanatics. Chatsports.com/Lamar Jersey is where you got to go. This deal's not going to last long, okay? Free shipping, $80 Lamar Jackson jersey. You're not going to find a better deal than this and any time of the year on any other site than you will right here, right now. Links in the comments. It's also in the description of today's video, or you can just type in chatsports.com/Lamar Jersey. It'll take you to that website. Go ahead and buy yourself one. Treat yourself. $80 Lamar Jersey. Wonderful deal. Next up, Kyler Richards. Ravens. Is Mike Green going to be on the D-line, or is he going to be a linebacker? He's going to be an edge rusher. Now, he'll be listed as an outside linebacker because that's just what a 3-4 is. Like, they're listed as outside linebackers, like Odafe Oweh, Kyle Van Noy, David Ajabo. Those guys are technically linebackers, but he's going to be on the defensive line, just as an edge rusher, outside linebacker. Up next from Aiden Breen. With the crowded edge room, who do you think will make the cut? I personally don't think Ajabo will make it. I don't either. We've actually talked about this a good bit over the last couple of months of the offseason. I think Tavius Robinson makes it over David Ajabo. I think they take 5 edge rushers. I think it's Odafe Oweh, Kyle Van Noy, Mike Green, Tavius Robinson, and then I'm missing someone. Who am I missing? Let me tell you in just 1 second. Oh, Adisa Isaac. Yeah, Adisa Isaac, the draft pick 2 years ago from Penn State. So not this last one, but the year before. Yeah, I think it's going to be those 5. I think they'll choose between Robinson or Ajabo. I think they'd lean Robinson. I'd lean Robinson as well, just because of health concerns. David Ajabo's never on the field, and when he is, he's not really even that productive either. Jameer Castro with another one. What player looks like they'll have a better season than last season? Devontae Walker. 1 catch, 2 targets, 1 touchdown last year, which was great. But everything I'm hearing from camp is that he's been really, really good. I also think Isaiah Likely's going to have a better season than last year. Like, he only had like 450 receiving yards in the season for the entire regular season. I would expect him to have around 600. So I think he's going to be a guy that has a better season than last year, a little bit of a breakout season. Welp is up next. I think TJ Tampa is going to get more snaps than Chidobe Awuzie in the second half of the year. Yes, I do. If you said in the first half, I would say no. If you said maybe in the whole year, I would maybe say no as well. But if you're just talking second half, I think so. I'm really curious to see how TJ Tampa's going to do in training camp. So far, there hasn't been a ton on him in OTAs, hoping there's a little bit more in minicamp. This is a guy you kind of need to step up. You lost Brandon Stevens, and I know Brandon Stevens isn't that great, but he still was a guy you could at least know and feel somewhat confident that he wasn't going to ruin everything. He's gone now. TJ Tampa's going to have to step up. Chidobe Awuzie, they're both going to have to step up. Darius Williams with our next question. Do you think we should trade for Jaquan McMillan from the Denver Broncos? Maybe if you could get him for something, like I know they got Pat Surtain in that cornerback room as well. I I wouldn't mind it. It depends what you'd be able to offer him. He's 25. He's still young. I believe this is a contract year for McMillan, so that's going to be interesting. You'd have to trade for him and then sign him in a year or only get 1 year out of him. Depending on the price, I'd be interested, but I just don't see Baltimore doing that. I just feel like they're a team that's happy with where they are. They're good enough to kind of stay put, and they kind of always feel that way, right? The best of the North is up next. Hashtag Ravens going to be blunt. Do we get Jair Alexander or Justin Simmons? No. If I had to guess of those two guys, I would probably guess Justin Simmons just because of the need at safety with Artieris Washington, Achilles tear. Bo Braid had to leave practice on Monday with an injury as well. And so I would say Justin out of those two. But let's be real. We know this Ravens team. I was just talking about it. They like to stay put. They like their guys. They keep their cards close to the vest. They don't make a lot of moves. This isn't Howie Roseman running this thing, okay? It's Eric DeCosta. He's a little bit more risk averse. And so I don't think they're going to spend that money because I think they'd rather spend that money elsewhere, like next offseason. Signing extensions for guys like Isaiah Likely, guys they want to keep around like Travis Jones. Like that's kind of my take on it. Ravens Productions, hashtag Ravens, do you think we have a chance to win a Super Bowl this season? Yes. Yes, I do. You always have a chance to win a Super Bowl when Lamar Jackson is your quarterback. You have a head coach who's won one before, and whatever you say about John Harbaugh, I have my gripes with John Harbaugh. I don't love him, but he's won a Super Bowl before. You're going to have a decently good defense. You have probably the best offense in football. You have probably one of the best, if not the best, top two quarterback in football. You can win a Super Bowl in 2025. Up next, VV with another one. What will our record be? 12-5. That's what I am going with. I'm going to pull up the schedule right here. I think you lose one of your first three games against the Lions, Chiefs, and against the Bills. Two of those on the road. And then I think you probably lose one, maybe two of your AFC North games. And then you're going to lose some random ones here or there. That's just how football goes. 12-5, though, still a wonderful record. I think it's going to be good enough to win the AFC North. Aiden Breen up next. What are your thoughts on JAD starting at safety? I don't want him to start at safety. I wouldn't mind him getting reps at safety. I don't mind him getting reps at safety. I wouldn't mind him playing sparingly at safety. But if he's starting at safety, I think it's either one of two things. It's a problem or he is the next best thing because that means he's starting over Malaki Starks or starting over Kyle Hamilton. So, but if they want to throw him in there every now and then, he's a really good athlete. I don't know if there's a spot for him in the cornerback room, so sure, get him out there. Reed with the last question of the day. Would you rather extend Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely? I would rather extend Likely. It just makes more sense. He's younger. He has more of an athletic upside than Mark does. He didn't have necessarily the drop problem that Mark did last year. I'm not just talking about the extra point. And so far in playoff games in his career, he's played better than Mark Andrews has. Funny enough. Give me Likely over Mark. I love Mark, but I wouldn't be surprised if like a team is super tight end needy and maybe throws you something at the deadline. Actually, I don't see that happening. But I'm choosing Likely over Andrews to extend. Who of those two do you think is going to get extended? Is it Andrews? Is it Likely? You let me know your answer in the comment section down below by typing their initials, MA or IL. And while you're down there, you'll find the links to my social media. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Both same handles, Joey Petersen at both. Make sure you spell S-E-N right on Petersen. If you don't, you're not going to find me. Make sure you guys are subscribed as well to the channel. Daily coverage of your favorite team right here on the Ravens Rundown, covering them like nobody else on this platform. So join us today by subscribing. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for today's show. I'm going to go ahead and answer Kyler Richards. Who are your top 10 QBs? Great question. Lamar, Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and this is in no order. Stafford. It's funny. I actually did this exercise with my buddy the other day. Let me go to our texts because I think I still have it written down. Boom, here it is. Lamar, Allo, Burrow, Mahomes, Stafford, Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts. Probably. Drake May is probably sitting around like 18. Sorry, Jack. Maybe Herbert's in there for a guy like Dak. Maybe Stroud's in there for a guy like Baker. I don't know, but that's the gist of my top 10. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Again, like I called for in the video, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. I'm going to throw my Twitter link in the chat right now. You can click on it. You can give me a follow. Free to do so. Covering the Ravens daily. And have a lot of fun on there. Talking a lot of Ravens football. See if we missed anything over the last couple of about the last hour or something. Not much. Got my notifications on. Not much coming from it. Okay, Jack, you got anything for us? Jack's good. I'm good. Jack says go Ravens. Alrighty, we'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. We'll be live next Tuesday. Y'all have a wonderful night. For Producer Jack, my name is Joey Petersen. See you next time. God bless.